Professor Whitehead, thank you for being with us here today. In the context of economic crises, what do you mean by error correcting or error compounding on the part of government policy?
I'm looking at specifically those aspects of economic policy that are affected by the nature of the political system. And I'm looking at those kind of adjustments to economic difficulties that need to be legitimized. That's to say, the citizens of a democratic society need to understand if hardships are being requested from them. They need to understand why. They need to be persuaded that this is a reasonable approach. That would be an error correcting approach in the event that there is a change of government, there's an election, the electors have then the possibility of choosing an alternative approach. Error compounding, on the other side, would be basically the implementation of policies that were not properly explained to the citizens and that were designed, even if they were good policies from a technical point of view, were designed and implemented in a way that provoked resistance and political disintegration.
In this sense, how do you compare or contrast Latin American experience in Argentina and Brazil with that of Europe over the past 2 decades?
Latin America, I compare Argentina as a relatively unsuccessful case and Brazil as a relatively successful case. But for Latin America as a whole, we have new democracies that were established mostly in the 1980s, which, setting aside some problems about Argentina, on the whole, the democratization of Latin America has been accompanied by improvements in economic policy and improvements in the legitimacy of economic policy and diminution of the kind of zero-sum conflicts that used to exist. By contrast, in Europe, and especially in Europe since about 2007-2008, the kind of illegitimate policies and the kind of social resistance that is becoming apparent is much more reminiscent of Latin America of old than the Europeans would ever have expected.
Is it possible for the ECB to become more democratically accountable while continuing to implement politically independent monetary policy?
It's very difficult, but it's also very necessary. The current arrangements are clearly, shall we say, to put it politely, a work in progress. And the progress needs to be very fast because the crises are coming very rapidly and they're tending to build on one another. The question is, can it be done at great speed and under conditions of extreme stress? With the kind of financial and economic situations that we're looking at in a number of European countries today, there are grounds for anxiety that it may not be possible in time.